time I walk by this piece, I'm astonished and kind of delighted that it's here. It's just an amazing piece. They're extremely rare. The fact that one of Bernini's great masterpieces is in the Art Gallery of Ontario is truly an amazing story. And it's just very gratified to have something this good in this collection. Just the power of it, just magnificent. This is an Art Deco piece that we found in Paris, and it just makes an interesting entry point for the house. This is a goddess of love, obviously a copy of a Roman model, probably made in the 19th century, and was probably for a garden. I remember saying to Bob Fulford that couldn't understand why this fella had any audience at all, but I couldn't get the picture out of my mind. So I ended up buying it after trashing it with Bob over lunch one day. This is an ancestor statue of the Sangay, and again, very inventive. They use copper, they cut up copper, the eyes are bolts, there's metal around the mouth, then there's these beads, and then there's these little effigy pieces, hunter's pieces on the side of the piece. And then of course this cloth that probably represented some animal, monkey maybe, belonged to a man called Gaston de Havenon. And we bumped into him almost on our very first foray into Manhattan when we were just beginning to look for pieces. And he was very kind to us. He showed us his collection and then showed us a couple of pieces. And I actually bought my very first important piece from him, which is now at the Art Gallery of Ontario. We're at the Art Gallery of Ontario, where 85 pieces of our collection now reside. When we decided to give these pieces to the Art Gallery of Ontario, it was a long-standing decision. It didn't happen overnight. I had lent just about every piece that's here now to a show in, I believe, 1982 that the AGO did. And then when Matthew Teitelbaum became director, I guess we were ready to give the pieces, and the AGO was ready to receive them. There's basically two rooms. There's the larger room, which is the perimeter of the gallery, and then they made a smaller room, a rectangle, within the larger room. Pieces in this case are all from Nigeria. We bought this in about 1972 in Montreal from Gallery Lapel by a nice little man called Leon Lapel. And we saw it in the window, and I thought it was a Mayan mask from Mexico, and he told me that it was an African mask from the Igbo, from Nigeria. That was all news to me, and we liked it, so we bought it. And then we got some books that talked about African art, and we were hooked. But this is the instigator, you might say, of the collection. The great piece in the collection is this piece here, Queen Nana, which is really a play in angles. She was the king maker. She was the queen who made the king. And the way that occurred was that in order to carry on the line, to prove that you could be king, you had to go into a compound with a bunch of ladies. When one of those ladies became pregnant, you became king, because that meant that you could carry on the line. The sculptor who did this piece, what he did was he did a play in triangles. This is the ultimate cubist piece. This piece is a Pacific piece. It's from Vanuatu. It's one of the Solomon Islands. And It's made out of the root of the fernwood tree, and you can see the composition of the fern structure in the piece. And it's a great ancestor figure. Probably would have been outside one of the men's homes on the island. It's probably a female figure. I had a gynecologist here who was certain it was a female figure. I'm not as certain as he was, but I'm not a gynecologist. This is a piece that I'm kind of proud of. It was a piece that we found in Paris. We're not quite sure where it's from, but it's obviously a medieval piece, and it probably was meant for the corner of the church, because it's the two figures. It's St. Peter's, and there's the key, and then Mary, also just very supplicant, a very, very soft face. I just knew this was going to be splendid. Every time I walk by this piece, I'm astonished and kind of delighted that it's here. The fact that one of Bernini's great masterpieces is in the Art Gallery of Ontario is truly an amazing story. This is a piece that Bernini made for himself. It's one of the few bronzes that he cast. So you can see how the shoulders and the back is just, you can feel the torture in the back of that piece. There's where you can see the pain. And then you've got the wonderful Baroque sweep of that cloth around his middle. And then of course you've got the wonderful work on the bronze itself. It's truly a figure of beauty, and it's a masterpiece, and to be associated with this thing, I think, is a dream for a collector. It happens to very few of us in a lifetime.